My name is Cindy, and I am on a mission to simplify the online business world by empowering solopreneurs to start adulting in business and actually get shit done so that you can have a bigger impact in the world and, create a better online business world. We're all in this gig for the freedom that this lifestyle can provide. And so that's why I'm here to help solopreneurs and speakers do that. So, just a little bit about myself. When I was a kid, I was always told that I could do whatever I wanted to do, that I had so much potential, and that anything that I wanted to do, if I put my mind to it, I could get it done. And I truly believe this. My dad was my biggest cheerleader. And anytime I said, I want to do this, dad was right behind me, cheering me on, helping me to do it, making sure that I had all the resources that I needed in order to get it done or figure out how to do it, that kind of thing. And when I was 16 years old, he died suddenly. And it broke my heart. I was broken. And I really didn't know where to go from there. I literally just stopped living. I chose to stop caring about myself. I chose to stop loving myself. And nothing mattered to me at that point. For the next 15, 20 years, I went through a series of bad decisions. I went through cocaine addiction, abusive relationships. I struggled with business after business after business because what I truly wanted to do was own my own business and work for myself. I have always had that entrepreneurial mindset, but because I didn't have the support system that I had when I was a kid, everything fell apart. I I did everything. I even worked at a psychic hotline once. But what happened was on the 20th anniversary of my father's death, I even helped plan this event. My family and I were all set to get together to celebrate his life and remember what it was like having him in our lives. And I helped plan the event. It was supposed to be a big family affair, a big barbecue. We were all going to travel to go and meet with each other. And when it came time to go, I made the decision not to. One of the most important moments of my life. And the reason why was because I was running a business as a virtual assistant and I was completely overwhelmed. I had client after client after client. I had lots of work. I had money coming in, but with all the things that I needed to do for all those clients, plus manage my own business, I was completely overwhelmed and in chaos, and I didn't know where to turn. And so instead of actually sitting down and creating a plan and getting my shit sorted out, I made excuses. And I was too busy. My clients wouldn't understand why I needed a weekend off. I mean, come on, really? What was the next excuse? Oh, my car might break down. Every excuse in the book, you name it, I tried to use it. And what I realized was that this was one of the most important moments of my life, and my dad being so important and such an integral part of my life, there was no excuse for not going. And yet still I made those excuses. So in that moment I made a decision and I sat down and I started writing. And it was literally a to-do list of all the things that were in my head that I thought I needed to do, that I thought were important, that I thought were more important than going to this event to celebrate the life of my father. After about 6 pages, I realized that half of the shit on the page wasn't important. So what I did was I actually stole a process from Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and I created a system that works great. I've implemented it into my business, and I use it on a weekly basis, and it works like a charm. But in that moment of clarity, when I realized that I had half the things I was doing weren't important at all, and that I shouldn't even be doing, I started to clear space. And in clearing that space and letting my brain have some breathing room, what I was able to do was realize that the business I was in wasn't even what I wanted to do. I got clarity. I understood what it was that I really, really, really wanted in this world. And I was able to switch everything around. So I realized that my business was different than I thought, and the creative juices just started flowing. Within 6 months, I had done a rebrand. I had completely shifted my business into what it is today. I had a new identity. I had an understanding of my purpose here on this planet. I was able to develop new programs and new offerings for my clients. In fact, most of the clients that I had as a virtual assistant have now been moved into my new packages because they are more in alignment. And this is why I am so passionate about simplifying this online business world. And yes, the online business world includes speakers because you need to be able to be online and create visibility for yourself. And most speakers that I know tend to have other offerings as well. So this process works for everyone. And this is why I'm so passionate about simplifying the online business world. I see so many solopreneurs, speakers, online business owners who are so completely overwhelmed with all the things that they end up playing small or not taking any action at all. And that's just a damn shame. So, my first tip for anybody who is in the online space is to keep it simple. The online world is filled with free resources and different downloads and a checklist for this and a checklist for that. It's easy to compare yourself to others and see what others are doing, think that it works in this shiny online world, and then you feel like you need to do all of those things as well in order to succeed. It's easy to get tied up and confused in all the things, and there's so much stress and overwhelm that you end up just not doing anything at all. So you're wasting your time, you're wasting your money, you're wasting your energy on anything that's not in alignment with your business and your lifestyle. I mean, if you think about it, you got your kids, you got your spouse, you need to manage your energy, you need to figure out all the technology, you need a bookkeeper, you need to create content and be visible, you need to have social media, you need to get your brand sorted out, you need to make sure that your spirituality is intact, you need to plan events, and you need to have a website, and you need to have membership platforms and a funnel. Are you overwhelmed yet? Where does it stop? And at what point do you take the reins of your business and start adulting and take control? Which leads me to my second point, adulting in business. It's time to grow up and start taking responsibility. So many of us online have no business experience or very little, or maybe we came from a corporate space and this is completely different. So everybody's from a different background, but everybody can learn how to manage their business as a grown-up. I can promise you that. It's time to stop making excuses. It's time to make a decision, and it's time to take action. So, are you running a business or are you running a really expensive online hobby? I had a client who, once we started digging into her systems and the technology that she had in place, we realized that she had wasted, yes, wasted, $36,000 in 18 months on software tools that she had never even logged into. Why? You don't need all the things. And so, do you have a business plan in place? Do you understand your purpose for being here and what you are putting out there? Are you in alignment with who you are? Are you managing your money? Or are you completely ignoring the numbers and not paying attention to it at all in the hopes that maybe it'll just magically appear and you don't have to worry about any of your expenses? I've seen that one happen. Are you hiring out what isn't in your zone of genius, or are you trying to manage all of it? Stop comparing what everybody else is doing and start focusing on what works for you and only you. I am literally that coach that virtually smacks the hand in the cookie jar. I stop you from shiny object syndrome. There is no one magical thing that makes an online success out of any one of us. Even though we see these shiny things online where a coach will say, "Watch how I made $20,000 in 2 months." I'm sure they did. But what did they do to get there? And how much money did they spend to get there? These are the things you need to start thinking about when you start adulting in business. Um, So we need to clear out our creative energy. So in order to make this space, it's really important that we clear out the clutter. It's like when you clear out the clutter in your office, all of a sudden you feel more creative and you feel a little more fired up. It's like clearing out the space in your closet so that, oh my God, there's that outfit I've been looking for months. It was in the back and I couldn't see it. Well, that's just the same way that we need to treat our brain and clear out the clutter so that all the goodies that are hiding in the background can start to rise to the surface. And this will help you get in alignment, simplify your business, create a system that works for you and your business. So I call this the creativity cleanse, and this is the process that I alluded to in the beginning when I started talking. I have a free PDF that you can download. I'll make sure that the link goes in the comments for it. But basically what it is you sit down, you walk away from your screen completely. And you can do this. I do it once a week. Often my clients do it 2 or 3 times a week. Once you get into the habit of doing it on a regular basis, you find it comes a lot easier. So what you do is you walk away from your screen. I like to set up a nice space, a place where I can meditate, listen to some good music. You can light a candle, whatever it is for you. Maybe you like crystals and essential oils. It doesn't matter. Just make a nice, comfortable space for yourself. And take a few minutes and just take a deep breath and relax. And then grab your pen and paper and start writing. And this is where you do not censor yourself whatsoever. It's your massive master to-do list. All of the things in your personal life, your business, anything you've committed to, all the things, even the things that you don't want to think about. They go on this list. I call it a brain dump. You literally just dump all that stuff on that paper and empty your brain. You do this for about 20 minutes, and I like to set a timer for 20 minutes because then it forces me. It's like when you're, I don't know if any of you've done yoga, but when you are taking it that deep breath in yoga, and they ask you to just breathe in just a little bit more, and then when you exhale, and the instructor says, okay, now just exhale just a little bit more. When the 20-minute timer goes off, you set it for another 5 minutes, and that's just that little bit more to make sure that you completely empty that brain, because your brain is working in overload and it cannot keep track of all of those things that are bouncing around and they're like crazy. So you need to make sure that you get it all out. Once it's all out, great. Now you have a huge master to-do list. What the hell do I do with this? So this is where you need to start putting it into Stephen Covey's quadrant, but I made it more fun because I'm playful and his is boring. So the quadrant, and it's in the PDF, so you'll see it with the instructions, but on the top left-hand corner, you've got the 911 quadrant. And this is the things that should have been done a month ago, like your taxes. It's the things that your clients were expecting from you and you've been procrastinating on, and the due date was yesterday. It's the things like going to, I don't know, maybe you have to do something for your kids and you've been putting it off and putting it off, putting it off. The 911 emergencies that need to get done immediately. Those get written into the 911 quadrant. So you go through your huge master list, put them in the 911. The next quadrant is over on the right top hand side, and this is called the Sanity Saver quadrant. Now, the Sanity Saver quadrant is anything that needs to be automated, delegated, or systematized in some way. So my favorite one, for example, is a scheduling app. If you're doing interviews online when you're a speaker, or if you're booking in to get to speak somewhere, it's always handy to have this system automated. How many of you have gone through the process of emailing someone back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, trying to find a time that works for both of you? Oh dear Lord, what a waste of time. I like to use Acuity. There's tons of different calendar apps out there. There's Calendly. Acuity is my personal favorite. It takes 20 minutes to set it up. The free version works great when you're just starting out. All you need to do is set up an appointment type. Somebody says, hey, I want to book a call with you to see if you're a fit to speak at my conference. Great. Here's the link to my scheduling app. Done. Find a time that's convenient for you. It takes you out of the process, it saves you energy, saves you time. It's a beautiful thing. So those are the kind of things that go in the sanity saver quadrant. Another one would be, say you are terrible at building landing pages, or maybe you're not very good at graphic design. So those things can be delegated and you hire that out. I know Ash Ahern's really good at branding, so you can always hire her, right? So those are the delegate, outsource, automate, systematize. Those are the things that can get done. And we pick away at those. You don't try to do them all at once. You just pick away at them, maybe do one a week, or if they're little things, you can maybe do a couple a week and just get them done. Once they're done, they're off your plate. It's over. Now I'm going to save the bottom left quadrant for the end because it's my favorite. The bottom right quadrant is the stop doing it quadrant. Now, I'm all for a Netflix binge, huge fan of it, but there's a time and a place for it. If you find yourself Netflix binging every second day, then maybe you need to consider dropping it into the stop doing it quadrant. Scrolling through Facebook all day long, pretending that you're working, stop doing it quadrant. Maybe if you're on Facebook and you're doing research, then that's different. But if you find yourself just scrolling through the news feed, it's not productive. Get rid of it. Schedule your personal Facebook time for after your work hours, or maybe you have a lunch break and you spend half an hour scrolling through the news feed and checking out what everybody's doing. That's fine. But during your work hours, stop doing it. Focus on the task at hand. I'm sure that we can all think of things that we need to stop doing, so I will leave that to your discretion on what goes in that quadrant. The final quadrant, and my most favorite quadrant, is the magic maker, and this is where you should be spending 80% of your time. So this is things like content creation, marketing, doing Facebook Lives. As a speaker especially, you should be putting yourself out there as often as possible so that you get the exposure, so that you get booked to speak. It's important that all of the stuff that goes in the magic maker quadrant is stuff that moves your business forward, that creates money, that creates magic, that creates that impact, and that gives you that freedom that all of us so desire. So you'll find once you get into the process of doing this system on a regular basis, whether you do it every second day if you're really overwhelmed, or you do it every 2 weeks if you're not that busy, this system will help you to prioritize your tasks. And eventually the 911 quadrant disappears entirely because you realize that you're wasting all your time and energy on dealing with emergencies when instead you could be focusing on that magic maker, and that's where the fun is anyways, right? Why wouldn't you want to spend 80% of your time in the magic maker quadrant? So that is my offering. It's a freebie that you can grab off my website. I will definitely drop the link in the comments. And if anybody has any questions on this process or how this system works, or if you get stuck on one of the steps, just leave a comment for me and I will definitely get back to you. I'll be watching the comments and make sure that all of your questions get answered. I'm also running a super duper fun challenge starting on May 29th. It's going to be really easy, really simple, because I'm all about simple, but it's also going to be about getting shit done and attacking this with vigor, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word. But what I'm going to do is it's a 10-day challenge with the weekend off in between, because I don't work weekends, period, unless I get booked to speak, and that's not work. So what we're going to do is May 29th for 10 days, skipping the weekend. We're going to meet for maybe 20 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. I'm really quick at training. We're going to create some really cool content that engages your audience, creates that impact, and gets you exposure. So if you'd like to join that challenge, it's 100% free, no obligation, and it's just going to be a really fun time. So I hope to see you there. And I want to thank everybody for watching and joining on the replay. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I am here. Bye, everybody. Have a wonderful evening. Take care.